We hope you enjoy Under the Moonlight's Mask, a love found too late from Rachel Lawson's The Magicians series.
The night was electric and magical to everyone but Lucius Argento, a wealthy Murano glassmaker who had seen it all too many times before. Venice blazed with excitement, masked revelers running through the streets, lanterns glowing on the canals, music drifting from every palazzo. Lucius would have preferred to stay home, but he had guests from England eager to experience the wonder of Carnivale. Trying to be amiable, he escorted them to one of the grand masked balls. His guests were delighted by the mystery, the pageantry, the fantasy of it all. Blake and his wife, Angela, wandered off to dance, while their adult son, Lance, fled the moment he caught his parents kissing. Lucius couldn't help but giggle. "What's so funny?" a woman asked. He turned to see her, someone he didn't know, masked in silver, watching him with curious eyes. "I was laughing at a friend of mine," Lucius said, still amused. "He can't bear to see his parents together. It makes him ill." The woman laughed, a sweet musical sound that caught him off guard. "Do you want to dance?" Lucius asked, enchanted by her voice. "All right," she said. "My name is Lucius," he told her as they began to dance. "I'm Cara," she replied. Lucius smiled behind his mask. They talked for hours, drifting through the ballroom, as if the rest of the world had fallen away. With every word, every glance, they drew closer. By the time the candles burned low, they had fallen in love. Soon the ball felt too public, too cramped and noisy for the lovers, so they slipped away to explore the world outside. They caught a gondola for a quiet ride through the canals, watching the moonlight ripple across the lagoon. On the bridges they lingered, whispering their dreams to each other, as though they had known one another all their lives. Cara and Lucius felt as if they had met long ago and would somehow know each other forevermore. When the night grew colder, they returned to the ball and danced again, holding each other as though dawn might never come. But dawn did come. As the first pale light crept into the sky, they said their sad goodbyes and kissed. Cara touched his cheek gently, her eyes shining behind her mask. "Find me," she whispered. Then the crowd swallowed her, and she was gone. Lucius returned home to find his friends waiting for him. They had been searching the house, worried when he hadn't come back with them. "We were about to set up a search party," Lance said, teasing. "Really?" Lucius asked, touched that they cared. Blake shook his head. "No, Lance was too sick to leave the house when we got back. Something at the ball must have disagreed with him." Lucius smiled as he removed his mask. He knew perfectly well what had made Lance sick, but he was too polite to say it. "Where were you, Lucius?" Blake asked. "I met the lady of my dreams," Lucius said, nearly singing the words, "You'll wake up tomorrow." "I'm not dreaming," Lucius said, hurt. "I'm going to find her. I'm going to marry her." "She probably doesn't want to be found," Blake said seriously. "She'll tell you to leave and break your heart." "No," Lucius insisted. "She asked me to find her." Blake paused, realizing Lucius wasn't joking. He softened his tone. "All right, who is she? What's her name?" Lucius's face lit up, handsome and glowing with love as he remembered her. "Cara," he said, almost singing it. "Cara? Cara what?" Blake asked. "Cara what?" Lance echoed. "Black, white, green, brown?" He pointed out the obvious problem. She had no surname. "Just Cara," Lucius said, and the realization dimmed his joy. "We'll help you find her," Angela said gently. "Lance can find anyone." Their first idea was to find her through her mask. They searched the shops of Venice's mask makers, hoping someone would recognize the style she wore. They found the artisan who had crafted it, but he didn't remember her. Too many masks, too many faces. Lance saw Lucius's disappointment and clapped him gently on the shoulder. "We'll look elsewhere. We're not beaten yet." For a week, they asked everyone they met, shopkeepers, gondoliers, street artists, servants, anyone who might have seen a masked woman alone after the ball. Most shook their heads, but one gondolier remembered her. He described her as a happy, beautiful woman he had ferried across the lagoon after the ball. She had been alone, glowing with excitement, telling him she had met a man, a wonderful man, and that she hoped to see him again. The gondolier smiled sadly as he recalled her. He wished he could help more, wished he had asked her name, wished he had remembered where she said she was staying. He encouraged them to keep searching. Lucius's hope flared again, fragile but bright. Lucius's friends set themselves a challenge. They would help him find Cara. Blake helped Lucius retrace every step of the night he met her. They visited the ballroom, the cafes, the canals, and the piazzas where the lovers had wandered, asking anyone who might remember her. Nobody did. Angela worried Lucius was falling in love with a dream. He didn't truly know Cara, and she feared the woman might have been leading him on. She didn't want to see her friend hurt. Yet Lucius's sincerity was unmistakable, so she kept her concerns to herself. Lance hunted for even the tiniest scrap of information. He searched taverns and markets, listened to gossip, and described Cara to everyone he met, hoping for a clue. Then it happened. He spoke to a woman in a tavern, expecting nothing, and then he heard it. She was a seamstress. That alone wasn't remarkable. What mattered was that she recognized the dress. She had made it. Lance took down her address and rushed to fetch Lucius. They visited the seamstress at her home. Lucius was elated when he learned she knew Cara. The seamstress remembered her fondly. A kind, polite customer. She visited Cara's home, the seamstress said. Lucius's heart leapt. Where was it? Somewhere near the Rialto, she said, apologetic. I can't remember the exact place. It didn't matter. Lucius felt a spark of hope. He was in the right area. Lucius and his friends searched the neighborhood for any trace of her. No one knew her by name, but several people recognized the description of her infectious smile. She had a habit of walking the neighborhood often, they said. The thought made Lucius's heart race. He imagined meeting her at any moment, surprising her, finding her, proving he had kept his promise. He dreamed of their reunion and haunted the neighborhood whenever he was off work, his friends faithfully at his side. Then one day, he saw a man sketching people in the crowd with graphite and chalk. An idea struck him. If he could have Cara's likeness drawn, someone might recognize her. His heart galloped as he approached the artist. "Hello," Lucius said, his voice trembling with excitement. "Hello," the artist replied, still drawing. "I have a favor to ask," Lucius said. The artist paused. "Do you want a portrait of yourself for a young lady?" "No, I'm looking for one I met at a carnivale ball nearby." "Oh, you want a picture of her?" "Yes," Lucius said, smiling nervously. "Are you sure she wants to see you again?" the artist asked. "In that case," the artist pulled a fresh sheet of paper from his folio. "Describe her." Lucius did, but the artist suddenly stopped drawing. "What's wrong?" Lucius asked. The artist didn't answer. He rummaged through his folio, searching for something. Then he pulled out a graphite sketch. Lucius froze. "I was at your ball sketching people," the artist said. "I take it this is her. She was with this man, who I assume was you." He showed Lucius a sketch of Cara, and another of Lucius in his mask. "Yes, you're very good," Lucius said, awestruck. "I'll give you the pictures as an early wedding gift," the artist said, smiling. "Thank you," Lucius said, glowing. He took the sketches home and proudly showed his friends. They were delighted for him. Lucius admired the picture of Cara for hours, dreaming of her, believing he was closer than ever. The next day, Lucius strode through the streets, admiring the sketch of Cara and asking everyone he met if they knew her. He was full of new hope. He searched for hours with no luck, only kind strangers wishing him well. Then by accident, he bumped into a woman leaving her home to buy bread for her family. She fell, dropping her basket. Lucius knelt to help her, picking up the fallen sketches and handing them back. She frowned at the drawings, then looked at him. "Are you a friend of Cara's?" she asked, unprompted. Lucius's breath caught. "You know her?" "I should. Cara di Nero is my neighbor," the woman said, pointing to the house beside hers. Lucius laughed, a sudden startled sound. "What's so funny?" the neighbor asked, wary, wondering if he was mad. "You said her name was Nero," Lucius said. "Yes, what's strange about that?" "My friend thought she might have been Cara Black," Lucius explained. "Black in Italian is Nero." The woman gave him a puzzled look, then left him standing there, feeling a little sorry for him. But Lucius didn't care. He had a name, he had a house, he had hope. Lucius climbed the stairs to Cara's house, his heart skipping with every step. He took a deep breath and knocked, already imagining her smile when she opened the door. There was no answer. He knocked again. This time, a woman opened the door, older, gray-haired, with a weary expression. Lucius blinked, confused. "Are you Cara's Nana?" He showed her the sketches. "I met her at the masked ball," he said, breathless. "She told me to find her. I did. Where is she?" The old woman's expression softened. "Come inside," she said quietly. Lucius followed her into a small kitchen and sat at the modest table. "Should I wait here for her?" he asked hopefully. "I'm not her nonna," the woman said. "I'm her landlady." "Her landlady?" Lucius asked. "Where is she? Has she been evicted?" "No," the landlady said, her voice trembling. "If only, I'd be happier." Lucius felt panic rising. "What's wrong? Is she ill?" "Not anymore," the landlady said. "Any more?" Lucius whispered, dread creeping in. The landlady folded her hands. "It isn't easy to say, Lucius. I knew you might come." "How?" he asked. She reached into the pocket of her apron and pulled out an envelope. "She left this in my letterbox downstairs," the landlady said. Before she... Lucius opened the letter with shaking hands. Cara had written to her landlady, asking permission to have a guest, a man named Lucius, whom she had met at the masked ball. She wrote that she had asked him to find her, and she believed he would, even though she had forgotten to give him her name and address. Lucius looked up, his voice breaking. "I'm sorry," the landlady said softly. The day after the ball, Lucius's world collapsed. "How did she?" he stammered. "The doctor said it was a heart attack," the landlady said, her eyes full of pity. Lucius broke, quietly, completely. He asked only for a few small tokens to lay on her grave. The landlady gave him her dress, her mask, and Cara's letter. Lucius arrived home, with Cara's dress and mask in his arms. His friends saw him standing in the doorway, soaked in grief, and didn't know what to say. They knew he had found her, and they knew, from the look on his face, that it wasn't good. "It doesn't look good," Lance whispered, seeing Lucius crying. "She's dead," Lucius said. "How?" Angela asked softly. "Heart attack," Lucius choked out, before running to his bedroom to cry, where they couldn't see him. Later that night, he needed someone, anyone, to keep him from falling apart entirely. He sat with Blake in silence, the two of them awake until dawn. Blake didn't speak. He didn't try to comfort him. He simply stayed, and that was enough. It reminded Lucius he wasn't alone in the world. It was days before he could sleep again. When he finally did, his dreams were haunted. The night of the ball, Cara's smile, and the crushing loss that followed. One morning, after a night of nightmares, he told Angela he didn't know whether meeting Cara had been a blessing or a curse. Angela touched his shoulder gently. "Love, even brief, changes us forever." He listened, barely. He wanted to believe her, but belief felt heavy, impossible. Lance told him the truth in the simplest way he knew how. "You found her, that's all that matters." Lucius nodded, but it was a hollow nod, empty and aching. Epilogue. Lucius found where she was buried. The moment he learned the location, he knew exactly what he needed to do. He went to his workshop and made her a glass heart. Small, delicate, and clear as water. He shaped it through the night with trembling hands, pouring every ounce of love and sorrow into the molten glass. When it cooled, he held it gently, as though it were her own heart. He wrapped the glass heart, her dress, her mask, and Cara's letter together, and set out for the cemetery. The sky was already darkening when he arrived. A thin, cold drizzle began to fall, soaking through his coat as he walked between the rows of old stones. Venice was quiet here. No music, no masks, no laughter. Only the soft hiss of rain on marble and the distant sigh of the lagoon. He carried a single white flower. Cara's grave was easy to find. He had memorized the path after the landlady first brought him here, though he had barely been able to see through his tears that day. Now he approached it slowly, as if each step might shatter something fragile inside him. The angel carved above her name looked different in the rain, softer, almost alive, as though it too mourned her. Lucius knelt. For a long moment, he said nothing. He simply let the rain fall, let it run down his face, let it hide the tears he no longer tried to hold back. "I found you," he whispered. His voice cracked on the words. He set the white flower at the base of the stone, beside the small offerings he had brought. Her ribbon, her silk, the glass heart he had blown for her. He touched the cold stone with trembling fingers. "I'm sorry," he breathed. "I should have found you sooner." The rain answered for her, soft and steady. He closed his eyes. He could still hear her laugh, that sweet, musical sound that had caught him off guard at the ball. He could still feel her hand in his. He could still see the way she had looked at him, as though they had known each other far longer than a single night. He opened his eyes again. "I loved you," he said. "I still do." He reached into his coat and pulled out the last thing he had brought. Her mask. Silver, delicate, still carrying the faintest trace of her perfume. Lucius placed it gently against the stone, letting the rain bead on its surface. "Good night, Cara," he whispered. He turned and walked away, the rain blurring the world into water and memory. Behind him, the silver mask gleamed faintly in the dim light, the last echo of a love found too late. Thin, and the rain washed his footsteps away. His love for her remained.
Find me.
My heart is made of glass. It is the most fragile part of me. It shatters easily. Be careful with my heart. It breaks. Oh, I bear a heart of glass. My heart aches for your love. If you leave me, my heart will break. My heart is made of glass. It is the most fragile part of me. It shatters easily. Be careful with my heart. It breaks. Oh, I bear a heart of glass. My heart aches for your love. If you leave me, my heart will break. My heart is made of glass. It is the most fragile part of me. It shatters easily. Be careful with my heart. It breaks. Oh, I bear a heart of glass. My heart aches for your love. If you leave me, my heart will break. You hold my heart in your hands. Be gentle with it, my love. Don't break my heart.
I found you. I'm sorry. I should have found you sooner.